Hello, good evening. My name is Malik Abazdab. Welcome to PM Express. The bleeding in the opposition NPP does not appear to be ending anytime soon. Only last week, the suspended national chairman of the party organized a press conference at which he leveled allegations against leading members of the party, accusing them of constitutional violations. At 1 a.m. today, whilst many of us were in bed, a group of armed men stormed the party's head office at Asylum Down in Accra and took away relevant materials. Who is going to apply that healing balm to stop the bleeding in the NPP, and when will this be done? Join me on PM Express tonight, and my guest discuss these teething problems in the opposition party. My name is Malik Abazdab. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. Tonight we are discussing the raiding of the NPP head office, and my guest is a parliamentary candidate. He is a marketer, in fact a marketing guru. He's so adept at this job that when he left his job as a marketing manager of one of the giants in telecoms industry, it was breaking news. I'm talking about Nenyi George Anda. Sanda, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Malik. Good evening to your viewers.
And I must say that George wants to be MP and he wants to represent the people of Awuya West, but he has to fight someone else. And the person has some words, harsh words for him. We'll talk about that briefly before we discuss the raiding of the party office. And not too long ago, you and your main challenger, Madam Anatete, foreign minister, have been in the news for some unpalatable commentary. She has described you as a novice in politics and you are no competition at all.
Well, I think it's most unfortunate, the kind of words that the foreign minister. But I believe that in the kind of work that I've been doing professionally, some of these things are just supposed to be distracting you and letting you lose focus. And fortunately, I have something that somebody refers to as the tough skin of a duck. That when some of these things are thrown at you, you just shove yourself and you just move on. And that is what informed my response, which basically congratulated her for winning the NDC slot and stating clearly that I was looking forward to an exciting political engagement.
Judge, you hold your thought there. Let me pick an insert. I want us to discuss the seeming tension between you when the voting proper hasn't started between you and Madam Anatete. But I want us to listen to Nana Komia this afternoon when he spoke to the circumstances under which the NPP's headquarters was raided. Let's listen to Nana Komia, the communications director of the NPP.
Now the facts are these: around 1 a.m. this morning, the office was being guided by 2 party security staff, aided by 2 domestic cleaners who live in the headquarters. Now at 1 a.m., they heard a banging on the gate of the office. One of the security men inquired as to who was doing the banging, and a voice replied that it was the police. The security man opened the gate partially to peep, and indeed, he saw a police vehicle parked in front of the gate. So he opened the gate, only to be shoved aside by about 15 men in military uniform, fully armed. Upon entry by these men in military uniform, the gentleman who had opened the gate for them identified one of them because he knew him and called his name. Apparently, they were neighbors. Now, that familiarity gave the party security man some leeway, and he managed to sneak out of the gate. When he went outside and he was crossing the street in front of the gate, there were 3 or so vehicles parked to the left. Somebody in one of the vehicles identified this security man who was getting out of the office and shouted to some people to have him arrested. But he claims he recognized the person and the voice that alerted the other people to cause his arrest. But he managed to cross the street, jump the walls of the opposite buildings, and escape. And indeed, he is the one who managed to raise the alarm. Now, back inside the compound, there were 3 party people left. There are 2 cleaners and the one remaining security officer. Now, the 15 men in military uniforms, fully armed, they collected the telephones of the 3 party people and then headed them into the security office that you can see. Now, the questions that should occupy our minds at this time is, number 1, who authorized this operation by these men in military uniforms? How did they get access to police vehicles and to military vehicles? How did they proceed to search the NPP head office without producing a warrant? How did they proceed to conduct searches in the office without notice to any party official or even involving the party security who were on site? Why have the police also detained? Because the second security man who was left was also detained by the police. And we're wondering why he's also been detained. But more seriously, this can turn out to be a grievous attack on Ghana's democracy, where people in uniform with police vehicles and military vehicles can lay siege to the office of a major political party, proceed to conduct searches, proceed to vandalize the offices. These are matters that call for urgent answers.
You're welcome back. You just heard the communication director of the NPP, Nana Komia, telling us about exactly what happened. But there was one person who was one of the earliest people to be called to this program, to this place when the raiding took place. And I'm talking about Mr. George Anda. But before he tells us what happened, I want to pick his mind on some seeming tension between him and his main challenger, the NDC's, the newly elected NDC's parliamentary candidate for Awuya West, Madam Anatete. And she granted CTFM an interview in which she said, I mean, they were telling her about your pedigree and your standing, and her response was, who is George? They are talking as if he's some political heavyweight. This is someone who has not contested elections before, who has never been in the political space before. I am supposed to be afraid of him. So she obviously is not afraid of you. She says, you are a novice in this area. You may be some marketing guru, but when it comes to politics, she's been there before.
I think what happened on Saturday and Sunday clearly showed that even within the NDC, there are people that haven't been in frontline politics for a while, but they have made certain moves to remove some so-called political heavyweights.
You're talking about Sam George and the apparently invincible E.T. Mensah.
Yes, I mean, you can talk about Mr. Ramadan, who also won.
Ashimore,
yeah, he moved Ashimore. You can talk about Ifua Wajito. Okay, there are quite a number of these incidences. But clearly, I think the most important thing is about the will of the people. What is it that we are telling the people? What is it that is convincing the people? What is our message? What is our campaign strategy? How well are we organizing ourselves on ground? as a professional marketer, I am taught to respect my competition and not to treat my competition like trash.
No, that's in marketing. This is in politics.
Well, it applies to every aspect of life. I mean, you need to make sure that you don't underestimate your competitor in life. It's probably even better to go in as the underdog, and then you make sure that you reorganize yourself, or you organize yourself properly on ground, and you turn things around. But like I said, it's not about whether somebody is a political heavyweight or not. The decision lies with the electorate, and clearly in the Awuya West, the electorate have made their point consistently over the past year and a half that they want change. I think that you're all aware when the founder of the NDC referred to somebody as being arrogant, and that is one of the things that the people in the Awuya West shown. And clearly, they have vowed that if we do our work well, they're going to vote for change. They're not going to vote for arrogance. They need somebody that's going to show that he or she cares about the people.
Sure, she will certainly disagree with you because she's won this seat before. She contested it in 2000, I guess, and then she won. And 2004, she didn't go. 2008, she didn't go. 2012, she went and she won again.
Malik, there's something that is called dynamic. Politics is not a static environment. Okay, the art of winning seats in politics is not static. President Kufuor won after he had lost a number of times. It's not static. Inshallah, in 2016, Nana Akufo-Addo is going to win the election. There's a time for everything, and I've said it's about the electorate. It's not necessarily about what I say or what I do or whether I am a political novice. The principles of governance, okay, are there. The fact that I believe that politics is about service to the nation. I see politics as a vocation and not a career. And these are some of the things that have influenced my decision to enter into politics.
I want us to listen to exactly what she said, and then we can pick brief comments from George, and then we can move on to our main topic of the day, which is the raiding of the NPP's headquarters by armed men this morning.
Well, one of the things that I always say is that an election is not about the individuals who are contesting. It's about the people who are making their choices. I am very happy that today the majority of the registered members of the NDC in the Awuya West constituency who were ready and able to cast their vote in my favor. What that shows is that we have a united party. And we have a united party that is going to work together, not just at the level of the constituency, but at the level of the branch, and even at the level of the units, committees, even though we don't have the structure of unit committees within our party, just to go to the lowest possible level of local governance and organization to be able to make sure that we reach out to our supporters and we get out our votes. And so I want to assure, but who is George? I mean, you are talking about as if he's some political heavyweight. This is someone who's never contested an election before, who's never been in the political space before, and I'm supposed to be afraid of him.
He has resources, he has experience.
And I don't have resources and experience. I am the foreign minister. I have been Minister of Trade and Industry. I have won this seat twice. I have won an overwhelming mandate in the primaries. And I'm supposed to be afraid of someone who is, even if you want to be charitable, a novice, please. You are the people who are making George under somebody. I do not consider him a threat. I believe.
You're welcome back. You just heard the Foreign Minister, Anna Tete, counting her blessings and who she is and what you are not. She's the Foreign Minister, she's been Trade Minister, she's won the seat before, she has the resources. It is the media, you are a creation of the media, she says. She has a point, doesn't she?
I think the most important thing is, what do the electorate think? Okay, I'm privileged to have a fairly decent relationship with the media, and it's something that I'm proud of. I'm not going to shy away from my relationship with the media. I think it is an asset, and I think that it's a valuable asset that I have, and I'll keep on building that asset. I'll keep on building that relationship. Clearly, there's something that is called complacency, and there's something that politicians don't seem to realize that the more you sort of lord yourself over people, the more the people shy away from you.
But this is not complacency. This is just facts. She was just
it's no,
relating to
I don't.
facts.
I'm not here to count my successes, but I believe that at the age of 33, when Hannah Tete was privileged to enter into Parliament through Awuya West, she could be referred as what she's just referred to me as. But she had the opportunity to go into Parliament. She had the opportunity to work with the people of Awuya West. At the age of 33, I was working in corporate Ghana. I was cutting my teeth under the watch of great coaches and mentors, and working on some very, very exciting brands and building myself professionally. And I think that the skills and competencies that I've acquired from all my coaches and mentors and all the great brands that I've worked on, if you put it together, is a great wealth of experience that I'm bringing to Awuya West. For me, the youth in Awuya West are the heartbeat of my campaign. And the youth in Awuya West and most of the people in Awuya West are clearly giving me a message, okay? Organize the polling station, give us the right messages. We want change. We want to be sure that you are going to be the one to bring change to us, and you have our mandate. So, yes, I agree. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a very difficult campaign. But it's not, for me, it's not a campaign that is tense because I do not have anything personal against her. I'm sure you realize that in my response, I congratulated her. I extended my condolences to her.
You're just playing nice.
Well, I think the kind of person that you are determines how you do things. There's no point in being antagonistic. There's no point in bashing each other. If somebody throws a blow at you and you can swerve the blow and you can speak sense into the person, I believe in that kind of banter. I don't believe in head-on. I don't believe in the exchange of words. It's not my style as far as politics is concerned. I'm no angel, but that's not the way that I do my things. I learn to take the higher ground, and that is me.
But let's look at the figures. She has done extremely well. I think she had about 51% of the total votes cast the last time. The NPP's candidate didn't do too badly, but you have an overwhelming task if you have to win this seat, don't you?
Malik,
because you are new
Malik,
to this.
If you have followed me professionally, I take on challenges. And I am able to pick teams that believe in my vision, teams that are hungry for success. What I'm doing in Awuya West is no different. I have said that it's not going to be a walk in the park, but it's not an impossible thing to do. You brought in the figures, okay? The NDC candidate had what? Do you know the figures that she had in 2012?
I was talking about them in the afternoon. I can't quite remember them. It's about 23,000?
Yeah, it's about 23,000. And then the NPP had 18,000. So the difference was shy of 5,000. If you take what PPP and CPP had, they had 4,400 between the two of them. God being so good, the candidate for the CPP and the candidate for the PPP in 2012 are actively in my campaign team. They're going around with me everywhere. Their supporters are on board. Okay? The delta is just about 200, 300 votes. Are you trying to say that this is something that even if, okay, some of the people who voted for us in 2012 shift, we cannot turn around? I don't think so. Okay, we are doing a lot in the constituency as far as messaging and engaging the people are concerned. As far as being accessible to the people are concerned, of course, everybody knows the kind of pedigree that I bring to the table. It's not something that people deny. And I'm sure that even if you read the kind of responses that followed or the kind of comments that followed my response.
Those are people who are not voting in your constituency.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, like I said, I am not, and the campaign, I agree the campaign is not on social media. The campaign is on ground. And I have the youth on ground. I have my polling station executives. I have my constituency executives that are hungry for change. And like I said, we have work to do, yes. But we're doing the work. I think we're doing the right things, and it's not impossible. With God being on our side, we would be able to turn the situation around in the Awuya West and deliver it as one of the seats for the NPP in 2016. It's not. It's the Awuya West is a swing constituency. They have never ever voted for any parliamentary or any parliamentarian continuously for 2 terms. Okay, and I don't think that is going to change now. I mean, I think Awuya West are looking for some kind of leadership that they haven't got, and the vibes that we are getting on ground.
And you are promising that leadership. I think let's take a break at this point. When we come back, George, one of the first people to be called to the NPP's headquarters, which was raided by armed men, will tell us exactly what happened. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. We are discussing NPP and the raiding of the party's head office today. My guest is the NPP parliamentary candidate for Awuya West, Nenyi George Anda. You were called early this morning to the party's headquarters. Tell us what you found when you went there.
Let me just wrap up what the discussion that we're having, and then I'll move to this.
Well,
yeah.
Just a minute.
So I was saying that the people in the Awuya West are discerning. Yes, they have been shortchanged in the past, but they are very discerning this time. They're going to vote based on their livelihood. They are going to vote based on their living standards. The people of Awuya West are not going to be taken for granted by last-minute projects and throwing of money at them. I mean, clearly, projects are their right. So yes, if projects come, yeah, the community would benefit from it. If you throw money at them, they are telling me that, listen, you know something, George, we know you don't have money, okay, but we know that you can do the work. When they give us the money, we'll take it, but we'll vote with our heart, we'll vote with our minds. So yes, if anybody brings you the money, take it, but vote with your heart and vote with your mind, and then vote for change. So I'm very confident that if we continue doing what we're doing on ground, we'll be able to swing the seat for the NPP in 2016.
Okay,
yes.
so let's talk.
So this morning, we had some information that there had been a raid at the party head office, and that the place was crowded with policemen. So myself and a few other members of the party, we went there, and yes, there was heavy police presence there, and we tried to find out what was going on. I think Chief Yakubu was there, Chief Cephas was there. ASP Felicia, in charge of the Nima division, was there. The police were extremely professional, and I would like to commend the police, or the real policemen who were there at that time for their level of professionalism, and also to commend the NPP supporters for keeping their calm and not letting things get out of hand. Apparently, around 1 a.m., like Nana Komia had said in the press conference, the security guys had a knock on the door, on the gate, and they asked who it was, and they said it was the police. So they opened it. The people who said they were policemen apparently were there with some 2 military vehicles and a police vehicle, and they were wearing military uniforms, and they entered the place. They seized the mobile phones of our security guys, and they locked them up in the security post, and they went in there to go and conduct whatever, ransack the offices and take whatever it is that they thought they were looking for. The suspicion is that they came in there to come and plant some weapons, because they then, after they had finished what they were doing, they released the security guys. Yes, one of them had managed to leave at that time, and he had also alerted the rest of the security guys. But these guys that had been locked up in the security post were released, and they were asked to remove the guns that had suddenly appeared on the premises and load them into a sack and some cutlasses, I understand. The motive seems to be that they wanted to have their fingerprints on these. So
you're suggesting that these weapons were brought in there by the persons who came from...
Well, as far as we are concerned, there were no weapons in the party head office, and the security guys had been locked up. Indeed, if you are actually going to conduct such an activity, the normal thing that you do is that you come with a search warrant. Okay, in the democratic dispensation that we have, where we respect the rule of law, or you would have the members of the party, the officers of the party, go with you. You can tell them, meet me at this time or whatever it is, or you call them to come, and then you go with somebody to go and do it. But I mean, the whole story, the sequence of events, it's very, very funny when you listen to the entire story. So they asked them to pack these items into a sack, and they took one of the security guys away. However, there were some of these people that were hanging around, and the police came onto the scene and made some arrests. And you have a story on your online page, on your online portal. I'm sure you will read it yourself, or you tell listeners exactly what it is.
Well, what we do know is that our correspondent Kwacha Frenoma was at the police headquarters. He went to the police CID Criminal Investigations Department. He spoke to sources there, and the sources told him that some of the reports that these guys, 12 guys who were arrested from the NPP headquarters road, suggested that they were, for want of a better word, were loyalists of the suspended national chairman of the NPP, Mr. Paul Afoko. That's what they told the police. That's what the police told us. Does that worry you?
It worries me because I haven't seen these statements, but you are the one that has or you have reported that these are the facts of the matter.
That's what the police sources told our correspondent.
Yeah, I understand. And for me, it's extremely worrying. Worrying because I do not understand why we don't want to respect the structures of the party. We've gone through a disciplinary process. The National Executive Committee has spoken. The National Council has spoken. And I think that the case has been taken to court now. So I don't want to talk about...
He says all of those processes were flagrant violation of the party's constitution. But I want us to pick what the police told us. Kwashi had an interview with the DCOP Ampabenin. Let's listen to what he said, and then we can continue with this discussion.
Currently, the case is being handled at the CID headquarters. 12 persons have already been arrested, and investigations are being undertaken. So as soon as investigations are completed, the necessary steps will be taken to send them to court. Yeah, investigations are being conducted into their activities, and we follow down the process. Yeah.
And I take it that these 12 people have already put down their statements with the police.
They are on it. They are giving their statement to the police. They are in the process.
And do we know who these 12 people are?
Oh, the identity will be made known as soon as investigations are completed.
And earlier, linked to this ransacking of offices at the NPP headquarters, we understand that even before these men came there, some persons in military uniform were the party's officers as well.
No, that may not be correct. Investigations are being conducted. If you get anything of that sort, we'll let you know. But currently, as I speak to you now, we don't have any information regarding the presence of some military officers there. We don't have it.
Have they been charged yet? Have they been charged with any offense?
No. Yeah, when we take the investigation, when we take their statements, then we know the appropriate charge to be preferred against them. But currently, what we are doing is that what happened, that is what we are holding the inquiry into.
And I was asking you earlier, we understand, and that's what the director, one of the officials at the CID told us, that these persons, one of them at least, their leader, says that he is linked to the suspended chairman of the party, Paul Afoko, unhappy about his suspension, and therefore they moved on into this. Has that?
No, I'm not privy to that information. I don't have that information.
And tell me, DCOP and Pabeni, this is not the first time we've had, chaotic incidents at the NPP's own headquarters. Over the past 3 months alone, there have been a number of incidents and so on and so forth. Does this worry the police? Is the police concerned about this? That center, the Asylum Down, the party's headquarters, has gained a lot of attraction in terms of, volatile security situation there.
Police are here to maintain peace. So we are to ensure that wherever, whether it's NPP headquarters, NDC headquarters, or the party headquarters, we are Ghanaians. We are here to ensure that they work in peace and tranquility.
So I take it that the 12 men who have been arrested, are going to spend the night in police custody.
Oh, I don't understand the question because they are taking their statements. So
are you going to hold them?
We don't know. I don't know exactly what they are writing. So it will depend on the information that they will give. If you feel that their lives are being threatened, it may be good to keep them. If we, after investigation, we feel that we can grant them bail, we can grant them bail. These are bailable offences.
And we know that the party officials were also here.
I've not met them. I've not heard of them.
So are
they have come, their relatives, where they are working, and the party officials, they may come because probably some of them can start shorting for them, I don't know. But that's usually anybody who is arrested, he has his people, his relatives and friends coming over to assist.
That's DCOP David Ampa Benin talking to my colleague Kwachi Afrenioma about what happened and what the police are doing. I'm still here with George. George, your story about military personnel or persons in military uniform storming the office and ransacking the place is not quite supported by what the police have found out so far.
No, I don't think that is the case, because I was there myself. I was there when the police were taking the first questions, or we're taking the first answers from the security guys who were there, and they clearly were consistent in their story. I know what I'm talking about. They clearly stated what it was, and for me, my worry, like I was saying earlier on, is what could really be the motive of something like this. And clearly, if something like this can only happen when there's some kind of powerful support or powerful drive behind it, and I don't really see why people will be interested in doing this kind of damage to the NPP.
The acting national chairman of your party, Mr. Freddie Blay, told journalists that some powerful persons were behind it.
But clearly, but who can know? But who can mobilize people in military uniform, police and military vehicles for such an operation? If you are not a powerful person.
I mean, you can for the military uniform, you can sew them. You can give to
with
people
with the police uniforms.
Well,
with the police uniforms and the no. I mean, listen, Malik, I think the police are carrying out their investigation, but the initial information that we have suggests that there is some kind of powerful hand behind something like this. I don't know who that powerful hand is, and I'm sure that in the coming hours or in the coming days, the information that you're picking up, plus whatever it is that the police are finding out, will be put out there into the public domain, and then we'll all know what the facts are. I mean, I'm praying that is not what people are speculating, and let us just hold our peace, and then let's allow the police to act professionally and bring out the information that
there was an NDC member of parliament who suggested that the Ghana Police Service should put in place a permanent police post at the NPP head office. Fair comment?
The basis for that being?
That there have been one too many violent scenes in the party headquarters. We do know that when Mr. Foko came in, he wanted to change the party security. There were cutlasses and machetes here and there. It didn't happen. There was a time a press conference was going there, cutlasses and machetes, when the National Executive Committee of the party was sitting to deliberate on the recommendations of the disciplinary committee of the party to suspend Mr. Paul Afoko. Some young persons, we are told, from Kasua stormed the party office. There were violent scenes. One too many.
Malik, whatever it is that is happening or that has happened in the NPP is something that as Ghanaians we shouldn't be proud about. And I think that the party has severally condemned these acts of violence. But if you realize that in the last couple of weeks, the party seems to have taken a different kind of direction, a different focus. And I guess that is making a lot of people feel extremely uncomfortable. because now we've started seeing a party that is behaving like a party in opposition and talking about the bread and butter issues and putting the government on its toes, to such an extent that it's even got His Excellency the President, who's normally a very calm person, to react in a way that I would say is not...
He was simply politicking. I do not believe that you put any pressure on him to say those things.
No. But I mean, I'm not sure that the president that I know, that is not his style. You understand? That is not his style. He doesn't... I think he's above board for some of these things. That is the president that I know. But in any case, like I said, a lot of people...
Really, what did he say?
Let me come in. A lot of people are quite excited that now they are seeing that the NPP is a serious party in the position. And they are seeing that the NPP is getting its act together and putting the government on its toes and talking about the issues that are bread and butter issues. It's a bit of a coincidence that most of the time when there are issues that could hit hard at the government, then suddenly something untoward happens within the NPP, and that seems to divert the attention of the public, or the attention of the media, to something different. But I mean, we just finished the primaries.
But you blame that on your own party.
Just a minute. The primaries for the NDC have just been concluded. We heard and saw acts of violence. We had a situation where there was supposed to be 100% endorsement for His Excellency the President. There was shy of about 6% of that endorsement, and we are hearing that is because those that voted no, for those that spoiled the ballot, were not educated. How many of those that voted yes were educated? How many of those people they are saying that they were NPP supporters that found their names into
your constituency executive were found on the Electoral roll.
No, listen to my point. And their register was supposed to have been cleaned. They have been talking so much about cleaning the electoral register. And if this is how the electoral register, per the understanding, is supposed to be cleaned, where you have in codes, you can assume that these NPP supporters are foreigners as far as NDC electoral register is concerned. So how come you have too many foreigners in your electoral register, and you're still going along that route, per your understanding of cleaning the register? You have a situation where some of the parliamentary candidates didn't find their name in the electoral register. Initially, St. George said he didn't find his name. Somehow his name was there. But Zanato didn't find her name, and clearly you can say that yes, the register was presented to the EC by the party, but common sense should tell you that the EC knew that Zanato was an aspirant. She was a candidate. So it is one of the first things that you check if indeed the person that is standing is eligible to vote.
But you have to give the NDC credit for this, isn't it? Because given the scale of this election, given that this had never been done before, given that they had widened their electoral college so widely that at least about 2 million people were casting their ballot, realistically, did you not expect that some of these challenges would happen?
But Malik, that is why we're saying that we should look at the current situation that we have with our national register and address the issues with our national register. But put that aside, coming back to the NPP, you have a certain deputy minister that comes to say that she had to pay people to reverse their position of voting no. I mean, this is an expanded register. This is an expanded register. The idea of having an expanded register is for people to be able to vote without being motivated. It's a good idea, fantastic idea. But clearly, we're getting certain things wrong.
All of us motivate people to vote. But I wanted us to stay with this curious question about coincidence.
Yes.
But it's not just about external influences trying to detract your party. Within your party itself, these things happen. And I give you an example. When your flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo, announced he was going to the Volta region to initiate his Rise and Build tour, the very day he was leaving, the suspended chairman, who was chairman at the time, his spokesperson issued a statement saying there was corruption in the party. He was determined to fight it. At the time, he himself had appointed Ohinin to head a 5-member committee to investigate allegations of some diversion of funds in the party. Then your flag bearer comes back, schedules a date to go to the Eastern region. Your General Secretary, Kobina Japan, comes and says he has been sidelined in the party. And he cited instances where he had agreements with the flag bearer that they were going to some places. He went and waited by the roadside. It didn't happen. The man went, that dominated the discussion throughout the entire time that he was in the Eastern region. He comes back, he goes to deliver a message to the youth at the University of Ghana on Thursday. Friday, Mr. Paul Afoko's supporters were in Accra from the various parts of the country protesting his suspension. Within your own party, you have these things happen that you would call distractions. So you can't blame this, what happened this morning, on some external force trying to distract your party.
I think the situation is we're having people, or we're having some of our members who are being misinformed, and they are being taken advantage of by certain people, and clearly I think the party structures are speaking, or the party structures are working. NEC and National Council are working. They are putting things in place.
Mr. Foka argues that they are acting lawlessly. They have violated your constitution.
I don't want to go into the details of that issue, because the party has said that since the case is in court, there should be no comments on it, and I respect that position. So respectfully, I would not want to get into it. But the only thing that I'll say is that I'm very much aware that the party structures are working. I'm very much aware that the party structures are made up of very eminent people within the party, well-respected people within the party. You made reference to alleged corruption in the party. I'm aware that there's a committee that has been set up, like you said yourself. So let's wait and listen to the findings of this committee. Let's not speculate on some of these issues. But the fact of the matter is that the NPP is solid. The NPP is solidly united behind the flag bearer. The NPP is working.
The flag bearer who can bring your party together, and under whose watch the party appears to be tearing at itself.
I don't think it's a fair comment to say that. I don't think it's a fair.
I want us to take a break. When we come back, I will take your reaction. Okay. Let's take a commercial break. When we'll be back, stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. We are discussing the NPP and the raiding of the party's head office and related matters. My guest is Nenyi George Anda. I was talking about your flag bearer's spectacular failure to put the party together to prosecute a campaign. If the man cannot put his own house together, how can anyone trust that he can put a nation together? That's a legitimate question, isn't it?
I'm surprised that you would even suggest that there's anything like a spectacular failure. I mean, clearly, this is a flag bearer that is going about his campaign. He has Alan Tremonting, he has Joe Gate, he has all the people that competed with him as part of his campaign team. If this is not a flag bearer that is bringing people together, then what else do you expect?
He can bring his chairman and the general secretary along.
Well, I don't think that that has anything to do with the flag bearer. Okay, I don't think that anybody has said anywhere that the flag bearer is not able to bring the party together.
Opponents say.
The parties, well, that is their intention. Okay, and you realize that their focus has been on funding this situation, because obviously they think that is going to play to their advantage. Isn't it surprising that you have a government that is going for re-election that focuses on the opposition? I mean, let's talk about the real bread and butter issues. Let's talk about the energy crisis. Okay, let's talk about the resolution of the energy crisis. Let's talk about the degradation of the health of the social services. Okay, let's talk about the collapsing of the social services. Let's talk about the health sector. Okay, let's talk about agri-production. Let's talk about things that are going to put money in the pockets of people. Let's talk about the experience that people had when NPP was in power under President J.A. Kufuor. Okay, when he introduced the National Health Insurance Scheme, he introduced school feeding program, he introduced capitation, he introduced the Metro Mass transport, he brought in proper infrastructure, the mass spraying. Okay, all these things that were supposed to boost production, all these things that were supposed to improve the livelihood of people. These are the things that we should be talking about.
The president is doing some. He's building roads, he's building hospitals, he's building schools.
The National Health Insurance Scheme is collapsing. Statutory payments are not being made. There's so much corruption in the system. I mean, our partners for a long time held back their development or their support to the country because of so much corruption. I mean, Malik, let's talk about the real issues.
The president is committed to fighting corruption, isn't he? Because some people are being prosecuted, and Ajida, we know that Abuga Pele, Philip Asebet, they are being prosecuted. So the president is committed to the fight against corruption.
Really?
I would say.
Really?
Well, he says
Really?
The president is committed. He's fighting
Really?
corruption. In fact, he set up a judgment debt commission. The judgment debt commission has completed its work. He's issued a white paper.
You read the white paper? You're satisfied with the direction that's been taken in the white
paper? It's not about me.
No, I'm asking you because it's extremely laughable. Okay, it's extremely laughable. We're talking about SADA. Okay, I mean, who has been prosecuted for SADA? Tell me. The guinea fowls that flew away, the trees that got burnt, who has been prosecuted? This is taxpayers' money. Okay, these are the issues that are worrying Ghanaians. Okay, the issue about NPP would go away. We would work and we would let it go away. Let us look at the things, the bread and butter issues. I mean, you cannot think that NPP issues would be a campaign message going forward
and
into
if the NPP is an alternative,
yes,
then people are justified to be anxious when the NPP does
Malik,
not appear to be bonding
NPP is an alternative between 2000 and 2008. What happened to this country? It was NPP that was in power. Okay, it was NPP. There were good things that Ghanaians remember. There were good things that Ghanaians know. Okay, and we're going to leverage on what His Excellency President Kufuor did. I mean, there's been 4 years, there's been 8 years of NPP from 2000 to 2008. There's another 8 years from NDC from 2008 to now. Okay, people are able to make a direct comparison now. Okay, and the influx of banks or banking activities in the country during President Kufuor's time is nothing compared to what is happening now. All the banks are investing in treasury bills.
But there are international issues, international credit crunch that is affecting all of
Malik,
this. We play in a certain environment, isn't it? And
Malik, when you are employed to be a host, you know all the challenges. It's not about giving excuses. It's about letting it work. It's your responsibility to put out a team to go out there and let it work. In 2000, we inherited a similar situation. The economy had collapsed. Okay, President Kufuor got a team together and turned it around. Okay, we can do it.
But that's what the president is doing. He's gone to IMF. When things were tough, the president took a bold decision. We had homegrown solutions.
When Alhaji Dr. Barima cautioned the government that the way things are going, if you are not careful, you're going to go and beg for the IMF. From the IMF. What did we hear? Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's never going to happen. We have a homegrown policy that is going to be in place. It's going to fix things. They pump dollars into the market artificially to let the cedi sort of stabilize. And then after 1 week, what happens? Malik, come on, let's get serious. Okay, let us talk about the bread and butter issues. Let us talk about the future of Ghana. You and I have our kids that are going to be in this country. Let us think about our kids. Let us think about tomorrow. Okay, it's not about what we are going to benefit financially today. Okay, it's about building Ghana for Ghanaians. It's about doing more than we can each do for one Ghana. And clearly, it's chalk and cheese now. You can see what the NPP did compared to what is happening now.
But when the president says in 2015, this is 21st century politics, there certainly is no room for asset bathing. There's no room for stabbing to death. The president has a point. Why is it important to talk about the bread and butter issues? It's equally important to talk about security.
What evidence do you have that the so-called asset bathing was done by NPP?
Well, but this was an NPP regional chairman.
So
was the victim.
So was there not an NDC DCE that was murdered on his way from work? What happened to that case?
That had nothing to do with politics.
Why do you are you aware of the police investigation?
But there was a certain antecedents.
The NDC DCE that was murdered. Do you know what happened to him?
We do not know. The police are investigating.
Well, the police are investigating. So why wasn't he NDC DCE? Let us take out NDC NPP from these criminal issues. Okay, they are purely criminal issues, and they should be handled as such. When the police come up with their investigation, and then we see that there's a political motive that was sponsored by any one political party, then we can start making those statements. But I think it's quite wrong for us to be speculating around this time. You and I could have our own position, or we could have our own thinking as to what the motivation is or what the motive was. But I think that we should be patient and listen to what the police are coming to say.
But if a young man, Sadiq Abubakar, goes, the I mean, a staunch supporter of the flag bearer of your party,
yeah,
goes to lock up Asawasi constituency office because the constituency chairman says your flag bearer should step down. And he locks the place up, goes home, finds out later some people had gone to open the place. He goes there, he's chased, he's stabbed, he's killed. That's clearly political. And the president is entitled to say that this has no place in our politics.
When you say an NPP activist who is clearly somebody that supports the flag bearer is stabbed to death, okay, who is the most likely person to be behind this? It's somebody that doesn't want to see the NPP in power. Okay, so how can the NPP that wants to get into power be stabbing somebody that is supporting the flag bearer? Okay, I mean, some of these things, Malik, let us think a bit deeper.
But this was a disagreement within the party that degenerated, and disagreements do happen.
It could also be an outside influence. Okay, I believe that the police have said that they were looking for 4 people. And out of the 4 people, one of them was supposed to be of a certain known political background. Okay, so, I mean, let you and I not speculate. Let us not create unnecessary speculation or unnecessary tension. Let us wait for the police to come, okay, and then we'll take it there. I mean, this UP Kofi Boachi, Commander 1, I believe he's one of the best policemen in this country, and he's on top of what he's doing. I believe that in the next couple of weeks or whatever it is, we're going to get the facts out as far as that Asawasi case is concerned.
So the police are investigating the raiding of your party office. You believe that your party is solid. In 30 seconds, what should we expect from the NPP going forward? Because I do note that you are trying to sound optimistic. You are suggesting that your acting national chairman is getting proactive. He's putting the government on his toes. Do you have sufficient confidence in him?
I have every confidence in NPP. NPP is not about an individual. The party itself is bigger than any one individual. I believe in the party structures. I believe in the ideology and the vision of NPP. I believe in the flag bearer. I believe in his running mate. And I think that, yes, we're going through a bit of a patch now. I am confident that we're going to get over this phase and clearly would have picked up significant lessons and we're going to turn the situation around for Ghana.
And that's where we end today's show. My name is Malik Abbas-Dabo. We have been discussing the NPP's troubles. Tonight, it has been Mr. George Nenyi Anda, the parliamentary candidate of the NPP for Awuya West. God willing, tomorrow we will bring you another sizzling discussion on the show. Good night.